Hey y'all, it's Brandon with Voodoo Forge, and I got a new Majestic forge 8 months ago, and I did a video kind of when I did the unboxing, and I'll put that right here, so if you want to see that, that'll be that video. But after 8 months of using it, I thought I'd show you any deterioration on the forge and give you my thoughts on the forge. So here we go. Okay y'all, well here she sits. So I've had it for 8 months. I use it, I would say, on average 25 hours a week, sometimes more, sometimes less, but I would say 25 hours a week average. Most of that has been single burner, so you know, you're looking at 800 hours on this little forge, and I have no complaints. It's got a little bit of deterioration, but not much. The biggest thing that's happened to it is right around the doors where there's this softer refractory material. It's been scraped by me putting large amounts of material in and taking it out when I'm doing production work and have several things going at once. You know, I'll drag material, putting it in and out. There's been one small crack, which I'll show you, right on the bottom, which is fire break. It's a harder refractory material than on the around the door area. I haven't used the repair putty that came with it, but like I said, mostly I've used just one burner. I have not followed the instructions to block the second burner off when I'm only using one burner, but it hasn't caused any problems that I can tell. I'm sure that in the future, were I to actually follow the instructions, it would last even longer, but yeah, I've definitely made my money back on this forge. You know, I mean, this is the major tool in the shop. You know, if you're going to make a living blacksmithing, a forge and an anvil, those are the first things and the most important things that you need to be able to do that work. And definitely more than worth the money. It is in the forge world a rather inexpensive forge, but I mean, I can't complain. I've used more expensive forges, and I've had no problems out of this one. The valves, which are different on this one than the first Majestic forge I had, I like the grip on them a little better. You know, when it does get hot to the touch up here. You know, because if you've had your forge on for a while, you know, this will get a little hot. And these have some texture on there where it's easier to just grab it and spin it on and off if I'm turning a burner on or turning a burner off than the older knobs were. All in all, I am extremely pleased with it and would wholeheartedly recommend it to anyone who's looking at getting a forge. Let me show you some of the specific things, you know, zoom in on it and show you what I'm talking about with some of this stuff now. Looking at it from this angle, there's actually two small cracks here, this one and this one. And I probably will use that putty and fix those. But those are the only cracks in the bottom refractory. And on the side here, you can see, you know, this softer material, and that's from having, you know, several things in the forge, you know, pulling them out and scraping it. You'll see a little bit of that comes off when you do that. And if you're just, you know, if you're a hobbyist, or, you know, if you're careful, I don't think that'd be an issue that you have to worry about. There's been a little bit of discoloration on the plate here, you know, but nothing to worry about. Like this is so much. This is lasting so much better than the first one I had. These are the valves to turn the burners on. Like I said, I normally just use one burner, maybe 20% of the time with both burners on. And I have noticed there's a little bit of surface rust inside of this reducer here, and not hardly any, just barely a little bit amount in the right side, but no problem there. Everything's working fine, and the little bit of surface rust that's in here isn't enough to matter. I wish I had kept up with how much LP I have used, but I hadn't. I mean, I've got several tanks. I just swap them out constantly, so I have no idea how much LP I've used. But this hadn't even really gotten hot enough to burn the markings off this black iron pipe up top, and which is really impressive. Also, I was feeling around on the inside of the forge body, and where the burners go into the forge on the inside, the refractory material, there's no deterioration to mount to anything around the burners, and that was a problem I had with my first forge. Okay, this is the first Majestic forge that I had, and you can see a difference in the types of valves on this one, which these valves worked fine, but like I said, it's just the texture on the other ones make it a little easier. The burners on this are still perfect. The body of the forge started disintegrating almost instantly around the side door on this one. This is a 3-burner with a side door, and that hadn't been a problem with the new forge. I think just the way that they have to be built to have that side door. You know, was some like 1/8 inch material in there to hold the refractory and the door in, and I think just the fact that it had to be built that way exposed thinner material to more heat, and that's why this started disintegrating. I have kept this forge. This forge still runs fine. I mean, I could probably use this for several years without even relining it. But in all reality, what I discovered and what I have discovered in the last 8 months using the smaller 2-burner is it's very rare that I need the 3rd burner, and it was very rare that I ever used the side door. I mean, I'm keeping this forge. I'm not going to get rid of it, because if I ever do have one of those projects where I need to heat a large length, or I need to use the side door to get something big in and out, I've got this forge. I can set it up and use it for that project. But it's just, as far as day-to-day forging in a shop that I make my living in, it hadn't been something that I've needed in 8 months with, you know, hundreds and hundreds of projects done. So that was a great forge, and I used it for years. I was skeptical of it when I got it, and it started deteriorating after a week. But honestly, even though chunks of refractory fell out and things like that, it still worked for 5 years and is still usable. So it's hard to complain about it. As far as lighting it, it's always fired up just fine. It comes to temperature real fast, which is important. The faster you get it to temperature, the faster you can start working. The less fuel you waste. The burner sizes are very appropriate for this size forge. I don't feel like you're wasting a lot of fuel getting up to temperature. You use less fuel keeping it at temperature. So I've been real happy about that aspect of this forge. Now my old forge, this gas line started to get a little bubbly, and I believe that's from where the insulation deteriorated in it, and the forge body was getting so much hotter. But the insulation in this one pretty much has kept the heat in, where this line hadn't had any problems at all. The other one I kind of had to prop it up like this to keep it away from the heat, but it just hadn't been a problem with that. And something else I noticed this winter is the old forge, and I'm assuming it's because the insulation was coming out, would heat my entire shop when I was in here working. This forge, not as much. I mean, it still keeps the shop warm once you get it warm, but it just takes it a lot longer, which is what you want. You don't want to, this isn't a heater. This is a tool. You want to keep the heat in there so you can focus it on what you need to get hot. Okay, y'all, that's it. I mean, I have no complaints on this thing. It has performed better than I thought it would. There's nothing I would change about this forge, and I say that having used a lot of different gas forges. I've used shop-built ones, I've used manufactured ones, and this is my second Majestic forge, and I wouldn't change a thing. This forge model, by the way, is the deluxe knife maker forge, and they cost $400. For a little cheaper, I think you can get one that it's like the economy 2-burner knife maker or something. But the difference in those is with this one, I can shut one of those burners off. And I don't care what the price difference is, I wouldn't change that, because the fuel economy and just being able to run one burner, and like I said, that's normally what I run. The 3-burner forge that I had, I'm having to look at it right now. The 3-burner is the multi-purpose Farrier Deluxe, and it's $150 more than this forge, so it's $550. And I don't know if they've changed the design in the last several years since I bought that one. The new ones might be up to the on par with this, where you don't have them just disintegrating as quickly as that one did. But like I said, I mean, as grouchy as I was about that thing deteriorating, it was still usable, and it's still usable right now. So it's really kind of hard to complain about it. Now, I don't have a relationship with Majestic Forge. I want to let you know that, other than I've sent them money and bought products from them. I hadn't got them at a discount. They're not involved in this video or anything like that. But honestly, if you're running a small shop, the 2-burner deluxe knife maker, it's great. I'm extremely happy with it. So I hope y'all got something out of this, and if you have any questions or comments, leave them below, and y'all behave yourselves. Y'all, I hope you liked the video. If you did, the like button thing, that really helps me out. Share, all that stuff. By the way, we have a homesteading channel. You can get to it over here, and if you hadn't subscribed to Voodoo Forge, do that over here. But I've got a lot more videos. There'll be a video over here, a playlist over here. You should check those out. And what kind of forge do you like to use? Do you like to use solid fuel? Do you like to use propane? Do you have something else? So let me know in the comments.